Yo! Today is Tuesday, November 5th, and this is the BSH Brief. This is the BSH Brief. My name is Ryan, and boy oh boy, the Flyers are about to enter some trying times. Can I offer you a nice egg, Flyers? The Flyers played 3 games last week, and they actually looked pretty good in 2 of them. They shut out the Boston Bruins 2-0 on Tuesday, then they beat the St. Louis Blues 2-1 on Thursday, and everything seemed to be kind of going hunky-dory. And then they played Boston again on Saturday, and the Bruins returned the favor by shutting them out by a score of 3-0. And it turns out the Flyers lost a little bit more than just the game on Saturday. More on that in a second. Let's start with the first Bruins game. The Flyers played arguably their best defensive game of the season. It was incredible. The Flyers held the Bruins to just 25 shots, and Sam Ersson stopped all of them for his first shutout of the season. He almost made one of the craziest, most insane blunders in recent Flyers history, but we're just going to not talk about that. Ersson was spectacular. But he wasn't the only player who stood out. Tyson Foerster netted the game-winning goal to break his goal-scoring drought, and then a little later on in the game, Joel Farabee scored a goal of his own, but that was an empty netter, so, take that for what it's worth. Sam Ersson's shutout marked the first time the Flyers shut out the Bruins in Boston since 2006. Crazy. It has been a minute since the Flyers pulled something like that off. The Flyers rode that momentum into Thursday and once again played a pretty solid game for the Halloween Spooktacular at the Farg. For the second straight game, they only found the back of the net twice, so that's not great. But it was another really solid effort from the defense, and once again, Sam Ersson was awesome. He stopped all but one of the Blues' 21 shots on goal and really carried the team on his back considering their difficulties scoring goals lately. But you know who didn't struggle finding the back of the net that night? Bobby Brink. Bobby or Brink netted the game winner with about 3 minutes left in the game, and he was hype, as he should have been. He was recently reinserted into the Flyers lineup after being a healthy scratch for a little bit, and he looked like one of the better players on the ice, so good for him. I should also give a little shout out to Ryan Poehling, who did his best Connor McDavid impression in the first period to set Garnet Hathaway up for his first goal of the season, so that was kind of wild. Sadly, though, the Flyers' brief reign of terror had to end at some point, and that came Saturday afternoon. The Flyers came out playing not that great. They did not look good. But again, Sam Ersson. He looked excellent in spite of the team playing in front of him. Until he disappeared. Just a few minutes into the game, Ersson had what appeared to be a skate blade issue and continued playing. Everything seemed fine. And then a few minutes after that, he went into the locker room and never came back. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. We assumed he was still dealing with some sort of equipment issue, maybe a skate issue or something like that, but it turns out that he suffered a lower body injury somehow. Very odd. And with Ersson out of the game, who filled in for him? Alexei Kolosov. That's right, Alexei Kolosov got his second game of NHL action Saturday, and to be honest, he looked pretty good. He let in a couple goals, but finished the day with 20 saves and generally looked pretty comfortable in net, so that is hopeful. Especially considering how the Flyers will probably be leaning on him quite heavily over the next couple games because their offense is just non-existent right now. Their 3-0 loss to the Bruins was their second time being shut out this season, and they've only played 12 games, so that's not awesome. Flyers head coach John Tortorella said after the game that the Flyers need to play better in front of their goalies. And when they play better in front of their goalies, that leads to goals. Perhaps. What would definitely help is if guys like Owen Tippett, Tyson Foerster, Joel Farabee got hot and started racking up some offense. Torts admitted as much during his presser, and considering the Flyers' lack of center depth, yeah, it would be nice if the Wings would do literally anything. Some news and notes. NHL insider Elliot Friedman revealed that Sam Ersson's injury is only supposed to hold him out for about a week, so that is some good news. Sounds like the Flyers may have dodged a bullet. And we have a trade! The Flyers traded AHL defenseman Ronnie Adder to the Edmonton Oilers on Monday, and in exchange, they got another AHL defenseman, this one named Ben Gleason. This trade really isn't a big deal. Neither of these players move the needle much at all, but it's still a fun little thing, so that's kind of cool. Also, there was a mystery player at practice on Monday. Someone was skating on their own, blocked off from reporters, so it was kind of like some little secret that the Flyers are trying to keep from everybody. People came up with these insane conspiracy theories saying it's Ryan Ellis, it's Ryan Johansson. Spoiler alert, it was not. It was more than likely just Cam York, who is approaching a return after missing the last couple weeks with an upper body injury. So chill out, you heathens. Looking ahead, the Flyers have 3 games on tap this week, and exactly none of them are going to be easy. They'll face off against the Carolina Hurricanes on Tuesday in Raleigh, and then on Thursday they head down to Tampa to take on the Lightning. And then they'll wrap up their road trip on Saturday, taking on the Florida Panthers, the reigning Stanley Cup champions, in Sunrise. Good luck, boys. That'll do it for this week's BSH Brief. For more Flyers news and analysis and dumb stuff, go to BroadStreetHockey.com and be sure to follow us on all of our social channels. Until next week, enjoy the hockey. BSH forever.